how and when does it get to you? You know, what is left and what put me here today to make an hour and a half long film is um, does she know? Does she know yet? Does she know? Does she know yet? Has he got to it? Does she know? This is, I don't know if this heals or helps me. It does heal me. It does. I don't know if it heals or helps my business. I just sat here for a minute and I thought, oh, she's written in the book, now she's done it in the whole film of it, and yeah. What hurts, what really debilitates is not only just when you see the little triggers of people going around, what really took, what really battered my confidence was seeing people, like I said, this wasn't stalking to somebody. Often you imagine somebody stalking you, think of somebody behind you and dodging you. I used to have to be always vigilant. Or, I mean, you should be anyway, but this was extra when I just out for a stroll, or where I used to live at the time, I used to live kind of like in the valley of an estate, and I just had to walk all the way up to the shops. And you know, walking is a great meditation and contemplation. I often enjoyed it at that stage. I must admit, I wasn't as physically heavy as I am now, and I would find people. I would turn around and, like, it was generally men. Literally, if I didn't turn around in time, they were literally on my shoulder. Why would you need to walk up to someone you don't know in the street and actually walk? And it was like a consistent test. How close could you get to her? So of course, to me, that was a serious threat, because I always realised, I thought, if I didn't look, this could be someone who could potentially stab me, rape me, do anything awful to me. You know what I mean? It wasn't just done in such a way where I know what it is to make friends. I've had some great friends and some real soul, being mixed with some real soulful people, and had some very my interaction with people are generally, despite being about fashion and music, but we're also very deep in the sense that we're searchers, we're seekers of ourselves and paths, and that's what I kind of attract. Even though I said I'm very frivolous, but I because of having been dragged up in a Christianity, it was a weird contradiction of violence and rape, and what you're going is like the crime has been committed, but there's never any justice, and it's this is what's interesting. It's patterns in my life where there's just, so I've been stalked again, and it's not that I'm a persecutory nature, I don't feel about me or anything like that, but there just seems to be no way of justice. And it didn't, even though I spoke about my experience, I didn't when it's in family, it's just the impact is worse or just the same, equal, but it's just, you're just in this lost void, this lost place. I was so conscious, because it's really strange looking at stuff. This is why I wanted to do this, is looking at myself and, you know, dry lips and all the little things, and I'm a piss taker myself, but yet when it can still hurt when other people take the piss, and you know, sometimes in the day you're just focused elsewhere and somebody's sitting there going, oh, you do this and you do that. You know, it's not, you know, do something else with your life, basically, as I should do, as I will do. But it stops you. Somehow or other, they stop you. That's why I keep asking that question. At what point is it? Because if I could tell my younger self who I was then, or somebody else, if I dared to have the insurance needed to advise people, or the qualification needed to advise people, I'd say really look, really try and observe each step of the way. But really, what could we do in society bigger? I mean, that would be my contribution, apart from putting this here and allowing myself to be seen, just talking it away. This is an example of how you talk through it. As slowly as I felt tense at some point, now I just feel like it's flowing. So whether this is a 2-hour film or itsy bitsy films, I'm just going to let it be the epic it is, and hopefully may touch somebody. You know, if you're sitting there all tense and you're going through things and images are going through your mind, draw them, draw the location, draw the people. I put, as it happens, I put my work on Saatchi. In fact, I was waiting to upload some work I had found some years ago, that I'd done some years ago, even prior going into this situation. And I was waiting to try and upload it today, but it seems that my browser's a bit busy, so I haven't been able to do it as yet, so I'll do it later. But I cannot recommend enough drawing these things out of your mind. As I keep going to this part of the subject and I'm coming back, but one of the patterns that I saw is like where I say in the book, you saw me once, you see me once, you see me twice, when next you're going to see me, all this, was seeing people going to shops and stuff like that prior to me getting there, then really having people react to me in a very kind of negative way sometimes, and feeling, you know, just not having the freedom. Why is it, you know, the freedom to be believed for you know, what right did you have to tell me what I went through didn't happen to me? When, I mean, I'm a grown ass, I'm an old Brock, man. Who are you telling me, some hardback woman like me, that what I'm, you know what I mean? Who, you know, what right did you have not to believe what I said? You know, I mean, I know this is something that has happened time ago, so I'm just rehashing it for this situation. But that was one of the responses I went through, and it's something that many other survivors go through. And if you're going through it, it's not, you know, people always say we don't want to scare the public, but I just want to give it to you real. It's unfortunately something some people may face, hopefully not all people, and eventually each and every side will understand each other. But certainly part of what I was going through, what I didn't understand, eventually came to understand was, and didn't understand initially, was that whoever was coming after me really had a problem with police. And so at times when I saw what looked like, and even I see it today, and it can be incredibly painful when you see it, what looks like misconduct, I now have a kind of different edge on it, in the sense that I wonder, has that person stolen a police vehicle? If I'm complaining about how, like I said, people, the use, I mean, it's just headlamps. I work in logistics. I know about the volumes of products being sold and how they're used. I'm not inexperienced in that way, but I know what I'm referring to is somebody who is pested, potentially dangerous, and just being horrible with bad intentions, using something. And when I see what seems to be behaviour behind the wheel of a civilian behind the wheel acting out this way, then you see somebody behind the wheel of a police vehicle doing the same kind of behaviour, an ambulance doing the same kind of behaviour, I don't just automatically now, as before I thought it was actually the authority themselves, but I wonder, is that vehicle stolen? Is it really somebody of authority behind there, or is somebody jumped in? You know, I just try and have a broader mind. Maybe I should or I shouldn't. But I realised after the police had been hoaxed to my door more than one time, a few times, that somebody was just really on the tip, and I didn't know there was an actual set of behaviours or a name for that kind of crime until I had watched a programme on YouTube, and I think it was a solicitor who named it, I don't know if I've said it right, but named it as swatting, but it's also, or swatting, I don't know how it's pronounced properly, but and I haven't done research, this is not scripted, this is just sit, chill and flow. Something which from what I've read was more prevalent in the US than over here, but yet I identified it and completely understood what they were talking about because of what I'd been through. And the timing of what I'd been through. You know, I can't say I still don't have concerns that behind that area of authority may not be a problem. I'm just not a person. When I saw what was going on, my concern was that somebody was in a job who was not well, and people around them didn't realise that, because it's kind of behaviour. And you know, if it's imagine somebody you went to school with, then risen to a level of authority, and they also, just like how you go through at home, if you've been at home and you're a survivor of incest, and you know that the journey of it never been really talked about, and you never really can report it, and it's just a wipe away, it's all about a brush away, oh, don't worry about that, you know, you've been through the hell. you've been through the hell, and you've had to live up to the stigma and the taboo and everything, all the slagging off. You know, you've been through rape. You were defenseless at an early age, but yet you're referred to as a slut, a slag, and treated as really cheap and you know just a throwaway, like somebody who doesn't need love. And yes, you go through really bad patterns. Part of that is that you then predisposed to being promiscuous. But to you, like what I went through bad stages and ended up almost, not almost, decided I'd be just bit off as a mistress, because every time I met somebody, instead of them being upfront and saying, look, I've got a wife and a girlfriend, you're not going to be anything to me, they don't say that, and you think you're then valuable to them, and then find out you're not. If you were second best, you were lucky. And I know it's hard for wives and girlfriends who look at people or women who say, oh yeah, you've gone on cheating, there's a lot of stigma towards us and you hate us and people like that, but it's not like that when you're going through it. It's not the heartbreak, it's heart-wrenching. It is just not worth the bother. I mean, if you're blessed, when you have been through incest, any kind of rape, if you have been targeted anyway for whistleblowing or any level of abuse, you've been to war, to name but a few, if you come back or you on the way you find somebody who would love and support you and genuinely, not a lot of people who may suffer from schizoid dependency disorder, who think they're in love and they're taking care of you, and yet everything they do to you is actually shredding your life and your feelings and your sensitivity to bits. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about genuine, free-spirited love, and somebody who is genuinely encouraging you, not saying to your face, oh, they encourage you and stuff like that, and when you're behind your back. And I used to go through that a lot of time, and that's again, it's a pattern all the way through, just knowing somebody was just messing with me in some way or trying to get to me in some way that was negative. I would have friends and I'd get on with them, and then all of a sudden they just switch. I'm a good switcher myself. I would go through that. I just start to feel something's wrong, and there are some people, not everybody, but there were just some situations where it was always, I just knew somebody had gotten to something had gone, and it was like, so it's never, the conversation is no longer genuine. When you first meet somebody and you open up and you really soul connect and you have some good ass laughs and it's really genuine, and then it can go off. And there's people out there, there's a lot of witnesses to my life. This is why when this targeting started, and I felt like this is somebody very powerful, or somebody either got a lot of power and a lot of money, or who has bypassed everything because they got a lot of power and money, and who are incredibly sick and who were deciding to come after me for whatever reason. Or this may be somebody that I may not have noticed in the past, or to be honest, I can't remember everybody who was in my school or the schools I went to. I remember a good lot of people, but anybody can see you anywhere and decide to make up stories in their head that they are something to you which they're not. And when you're just getting on with your life, they're getting offended because they think you're ignoring them, and you just have no clue who they are or what relationship is in their head that they think they're having with you. So okay, I've got to stop. Really, what I plan to do is do a performance at the end of everything I do, and I really want to do live performances of my tracks, at least the first and the last one, because those two I can at least do on guitar. The other two are based on MIDI. I wanted to do the whole thing by guitar, but technically I couldn't do it, so I just used the programs to do it. But hopefully I'm going to edit this and I can possibly put music underneath it. I don't know, I've said this before in my blogs, but possibly I should have done something different. I don't know if this will heal or I don't know, but I'm glad I can, and at the end of it I feel more relieved and I feel more able to go forward, and I've been naturally myself. See me as I am, take me or leave me, but one thing I didn't know you could see me. I love that song. Should I read some more of the book? Oh, let me try and find a poem to go out with, as if it's been long enough. Poem 3 was quite interesting. The torture I cause you and feel, the intensity within a freedom, pleasure and pain that keeps me reminiscing and deluded in faith of something that would never happen again, that has only ever been a figment of time and space, torrents of emotions, unnecessary pain, the imagination that is on the graze, visions that are full of ways to become besotted with those of no avail. What was I just saying? That is about when you think, you leave home, you've been tortured, you've been abused, and you're just so naive. You think you're going to walk into the arms of a loving man or spouse, for who, partner, for who, for whoever you are and whatever you prefer, and it just doesn't happen. And you really do have to work hard. You have to consistently work on yourself. But when you do have those kind of friends that just are real friends, and they just don't see you as someone to be there for a certain reason and could encourage you. I mean, real friends in a situation would never allow you. You could not get, over 10 years down the road and say, I know a lot has happened to me. There's a lot that has potentially could have destroyed my life and did destroy parts of my self-confidence and self-esteem, because possibly if I had not gone through what I had gone through, I would have more confidently put my line together and go out and sell to people and feel more free about what I'm doing. But to be honest, I'm still not. I still dread going outside because somebody's going to drive past with the whole flaring lights to let me know that they are there. I really have to gauge who I go around and speak, because I want to speak to people. I want to attract genuine people, not people who have been groomed what to say to me. You know what I mean? I sit through all of that sometimes on a daily basis, and just yeah. I don't know, there's some kind of weird kind of thing. I don't, because if you're a woman and you've been single for a long time, people start to question your orientation. It's none of their damn business. You're looking for the arms of a loving man. You're looking for an arms of a loving man if you're a woman, and that's it. And that's not going to change, So, but that again could see you targeted by those who think they could switch you to their orientation of what they want. I'm very happy for what you enjoy, but that's just not what I do. Please leave me alone. I don't want your little sex games. I'm not part of your gang, your location, the incident happening, and what the fuck you want to go on with. That ain't nothing to do with me. I'm a 53-year-old woman trying to heal in her heart, doing what she originally loved. I set out to be a backing singer, and I thoroughly enjoyed creating the kind of alternative kind of EP I did. Like I said before, I'm going to take my time and really enjoy layering the tracks and really come up with some smoother harmonies, I think, and got some good ideas for what I want to do in God's spare life, that I will have the chance to do that and truly enjoy what I do. But as I said, I wanted to stay with the blessing, and the blessing is I've learned probably more gratitude. And for a long time I was writing it down, and I couldn't really say it, and there's been a lot more gaps now between the books I've written, which are over 50 books. I'm not bragging, but they are, it grows. I must admit, one of the hardest books to write, and I love the picture on this book, was excuse me, Poetry Index 4, and that is a supposed look at me. This is really depicts the era of what happened is when I moved in 2006, there was a lot of problems eventually, and I thought, well, I'll go in for a move. I eventually lost the job that I was in, but I went temping, and it was just the constant attention of what looked like police, and I was aware of what people claimed were, I don't know if it's press. Why would press be after me? I don't know. I did work. I have delivered newspapers in my time, but I was aware of being on site, and as soon as I left, or people were asking where I was going or what I was doing, and they, like, why did you need to know? If you want to investigate me for something, then bring me in for questioning or something. What is it you think I've done? I don't know. Why would you need to phone my work up, where I work, and find out where I've gone and what time I should be back? And that was the level of control, and that probably is still the level of control where somebody is trying to dictate what you do not do, and how much you earn. Obviously, if you get cut or whatever or something, it affects you, and it's a precarious situation. I'm not going to lie, it's a precarious situation I'm in. And like I said as well, probably if I had not been through the experience I've been through, I'd have been happy to go out and sell my books. And to be honest, I really probably should have a team around me to really readjust them and make them more friendly to the publishing world that would accept things. I recently changed this book, and it is beautifully, let me do that again, recently changed this book, and it is, I don't know if I could show you, beautifully written. One thing, this is the collection that I painted, and I really, if you can see, it's like a shadow on the page. This reminds me of nursery school. When they used to, can you see the picture? That is what da-da-da did, and that is the poem. And really is the basis of a design collection, but I really love the way I was able to fit them in the book. There's another canvas, and this has really turned out lovely. I love can you see the font? It's really nice. Be amazed how a life is lived. Millions of things happen to different people at times simultaneously, at times synchronization, unique to each individual experience. See, I can't even read properly. I could not sit down here and read this book, but this was heavy going, because I really got into writing some serious text, and I really laboured over it. I liked doing all the type things. I don't know how to sell books. I'm probably not helping myself, but from this I will grow. From this I will find another way to be, and I need to keep it real. I know there's a lot of corporate ways to put yourself across, and I'm just as I am, as the hymn says, as I am without one plea. Thank you for watching. I think I've finally healed the session. I had so many ideas of what I wanted it to be like. I'll be in a gown, and I will act, and I'm sure that will come, because I don't intend to stop producing these some kind of television, as it is part of my intention to bring my whole business together. And I've never had so much stage fright in trying to bring so many things together into a harmonious place. But I certainly intend to move my business forward, and most of all, just to be me. I hope life blesses you if you're open to a blessing, and I hope you've learned something from what I've done, even if it is not to do like how I did. And if you are currently going through the experience of stalking, and if you're in any danger, do not hesitate to call the emergency service of whoever you need to protect yourself. Do stay safe, and know you're great, and understand that you're in a position of teaching. Once you become targeted by a stalker, trolls, some for whistleblowing, you then find yourself in the responsibility and this responsible place of having to teach others what is happening to you and how it hurts and affects you, as I have tried to do with this epic film. My God, it's going to be